how we turned this store from almost being unprofitable to a 4 million euro Google Ads dropshipping store in less than a year. I will go over the specific Google Ads strategy and how we switched markets so it came from unprofitable to a very profitable store. I will explain to you step by step how we did it, what we did, and also how do we keep on switching seasons with our products. Because as you may know, by watching the videos on this channel, you know that we are specialized in selling clothing online. We are doing Google Ads dropshipping to sell fashion. Think about Zara, Massimo Dutti. It's really general clothing that you can wear all day. And that's kind of what we sell. So we have high AOVs, we have high conversion rates. There is all year long demand, but you have to keep up with the seasons because in summer, you will be selling summer clothes. In winter, you'll be selling winter clothes. So I will also dive really deep into that, how you can also replicate it for your own store. But if we dive a bit into the Shopify dashboard, we can see a few ups and downs, and I will explain to you them one by one and how we resolve them. If you can see here, it's probably even way too small, but the store in this stage was not catching any momentum. The reason for that is because this store initially started out as a store targeting Norway. Norway was a market that we saw that was a bit untapped, but you needed a local payment methods, which we didn't have back in the time. We thought we could get it. We tried to run in Norway, but we just were stuck at, let's say, 500 revenue per day. We couldn't scale further. ROAS was really unstable. Some days we would have ROAS 2, some days we would have ROAS 3. So this was the stage from, let's say, October till November, because we always give a store 1 month to try it out. You know, we always, the lifetime of a store of us is like, we give it 1 month. If we see good results, then we're going to scale further. If we don't see good results, then we're going to make changes. And what are for us good results? Well, it's a ROAS which is stable and revenue is increasing. If we see those two signals, that means we will be able to scale that store. And usually you can already spot that in the first month. So that's why every store gets 1 month to prove itself. If it doesn't follow our KPIs, then we're going to make a change. It can be a market switch. It can be a total domain switch. It can be a product feed cleanup. But this case study is specifically about the market switch, which I will explain to you step by step here. So this is the point where we decided to kind of switch markets. It was around start of November 2025. And the moment we switch markets, you could immediately see that it started climbing up. Really positive. We almost hit a 500K months the month after that. So one specific change really turned the store around. And then it did consistent 500K months for a very good time. And then boom, in February, it got its misrep. So initially, I think the misrep was around September, which we fixed. The store was live, it was running. And then around February, it got another suspension, a Google Merchant Center misrepresentation, which is the most common suspension. But luckily, we managed to fix it by using our GMC checklist. And then we got the store live again. But something that happened here is when domain was not catching momentum anymore. The store was just not the same anymore. After that misrep, everything changed around. We got super high CPCs. Our products weren't picking up. Our ROAS was really unstable. So we were kind of stuck. From February till March, we barely did revenue. And what we did then is we removed all of our products and we added new ones. Because we saw after a misrepresentation, our algorithm kind of got switched. It changed. It wasn't the same anymore. So what we did is we were really aggressive on this because we knew this store did really good revenue and all of a sudden it stopped doing good revenue. So we removed all the products and only imported summer products because we knew starting from March, people will be buying summer products because it was already getting more hot in the target markets. People were getting summer clothes already. So for us, this was the perfect opportunity to buy, to put these products on our store. So that's what we did. And then from one day to another, you see that there was an insane spike. And we even did more revenue than we did before. We went to a 600K month and now we're on the way to do 1 million in a month with just this store. So this just shows that by making aggressive changes, you can really turn one store around, which is really insane. And that's the power of Google. You know, with Meta, this store would have probably been down already the first month, because the lifetime of a meta store is usually 1 month, scaling really hard, and then you become a guru who sells courses. I'm not like that. We scale stores for months. This store already has been live, I think, for September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So that's almost 11 months, I think. If I'm not, no, wait, 10, 9, something like that. I don't really care, but the store has been live for a very, very long time. Just to give you guys an image of the power of a Google store. But to go a bit more specific into how we switch markets without getting a suspension or something like that, because we got the GMC approved like in September, and then we ran it for a month, and then in November we did a market switch, and we still didn't get a suspension. We only got it like 2-3 months later. So how did we do it? First of all, we made all the changes on the website, the policies, and the currency also on the store, because your store has to be compliant with the country you're targeting. If you're targeting it EU country, you have to follow the EU law. If you're targeting a US country, well, you have to follow the US law. So we managed to change all the policies, change our shipping policy, return policy, terms of service. Our website was now shipping to a new country instead of Norway, and we also changed the currency. So that's the first change we did. Second of all, we deleted all the old data source in the GOC. So that means removing all the products, removing the Simprozis product source, so we could import new products, because these products were still targeting the old country. Then what we did is we started importing new products on the store. Obviously, these products were going to target. Back then it was November, so it was more like winter clothing. It was going to be cold, so it was sweaters, jackets, and all of that clothing. So we imported all of that on our store. And what you then simply do is you resync in the Simprozis app. If you don't know yet, the Simprozis app is the app that is going to push your products to the Google Merchant Center so you can start advertising it online. So that's what we did here. And then obviously in your Google Ads, you also have to change your target country. And that's pretty much it. By doing this step by step and also following the GMC checklist, we managed to not get a suspension while doing this switch. And from after this change, the store just started scaling like crazy. But then you might be wondering, okay, this store has already been live for, I think, like 9, 10, 11 months, something like that. How do you keep up with the season? Because every season, people want to buy new clothes. For example, now it's summer. People already bought their summer clothes, and now they're already shopping a bit more like sweaters, hoodies, shoes, all of that. So I always have to think 2 or 3 months ahead. Don't import products that are trending now, because you already missed the train. Usually what happens on Google is you list the products on day 1, let's say, so day 1. Then it's going to have to get indexed. So index before it starts you showing in the Google Ads algorithm. Once it's indexed, that's when it's going to get ad spends. Sorry for my writing, by the way. I'm on a notepad. But there you go. So you, first of all, you list the products, then it's going to get indexed, and then it's going to get ad spends. Usually between indexing and getting ad spends, we see an average of 16 days. We can see this through our internal tools that it usually takes 16 days after indexing a product, after listing a product, before it gets ad spend. So that means you always are 2 weeks behind. So that means if I'm going to start importing something that's trending now, I only should expect it to be getting ad spend in 2 weeks and maybe scaling in 3 weeks. So always think ahead. I always import 2 or 3 months ahead, so I know for sure my products are going to be on time. Every product we also list on our store is handpicked. So I'm going to do my keyword research. I'm going to do my competitor research, my product research, all by hand. I know there's all these guru online tools that you can use and they will give you winning products, but trust me, the best products are the ones you find manually. Ooh. And then another important part of what we do during every season switch is we dropped all the zombie products. What's the zombie product? It's a product which has been live for at least 3 months, let's say 2 or 3 months, and it has had below 10 euros or dollars, whatever you want to call it, ad spends. That's called a zombie product. It's a product that is getting some ad spend or even zero, but it's not scaling. If it's 2-3 months and it has had below 10 euros or dollars ad spends, drop it. The reason for that is because you don't want to have your feed filled with zombie products, because that means Google is going to spend $1 like 100 times a day on zombie products instead of spending it on your winners, which could boost your revenue. So you rather just have a clean feed, which is slim, which is fit, with only winning products, and that way all the budget is going to be dedicated to your winning products instead of zombie products, which are just eating ad spend and doing nothing. So that's what I call zombie products, and this is how you define them. Obviously, I made this rule up. This is what I follow, but obviously it's still something good to keep in your back head. If we look at the GMC, obviously, I'm not going to go too deep into this because we go really deep into that in our corner store video, which is on the first page of our YouTube channel. But here, for example, the GMC, it got another misrep on the 16th April, which we managed to fix the same day, actually, just because this store, we always make sure that it's compliant, that we follow the GMC checklist, and so on. So that's kind of it for the GMC. If we look at Klaviyo, I mean, a 10.85% attribute revenue for this store. In the last 30 days, we did around 980K revenue, and 10% from that came from email. So really, don't underestimate the power of email, because you can make a lot of money from it. And it's just money you're just leaving behind you. On every store, once it reaches 5K per day revenue, we immediately start doing Google ads. Klaviyo. We set up a sign-up form, which appears after 5 seconds on your store. When scrolling to catch emails, to send them a welcome series. We have abandoned checkouts, we have flash sales, and so on, to really make the most money out of every customer. Because in the end, you're already paying for the traffic. So might as well make the most money possible out of every customer that's coming to your website. If we then dive a bit into the Google Ads itself, we can see that I put it on 16 April because I couldn't go further than that. But we see that the average ROAS is 2.39. So what does that mean? For every euro or dollar or Hong Kong dollar, in this case, we're spending on the store, we're getting 2.39 dollars out of it. So that literally means we're on very profitable margins. And this is all time. If I would look at last 30 days, this store is probably doing like ROAS 3 or 3.2 even yesterday. So that's kind of the stage of this store. It has done 44.5K orders. I think is even more in honestly. Here 46.6. Google always under attributes. So this ROAS is probably not even accurate. I'll have to go look into our P&L, but it should be around 2.5. How much does it cost per conversion? This is a really interesting metric also, because it costs us around $31.9 to acquisition one customer, which is honestly on the higher end. But if you look at our average AOV, it's around 85. So that means we're still there with a 50 euro or dollar margin, which we are profitable with, So that leaves us with a very good ROAS. And as you can see, we've already spent over 1.4 million, because it's in Hong Kong dollars, on this Google Ads account. So it's a really orange ad account. It has a lot of data. So really, this is a very good ad account, and this is one of our best stores in my honesty. It's been live for the longest. We are really close to it. We do the market switch, we do the feed changes every week. We also check the product feed to see if there's any products eating too much ad spend and bad ROAS. But that's kind of how you maintain a store for a long term. And we're actually not even looking to exit the store, because there's a lot of gurus online which will flex exiting their stores after doing their first revenue. But honestly, this store is making way too much money for us to even exit it. It's really a cash cow that every month is making at least 100 to 200K net profits. And keep in mind, this is one of our 16 Google stores. So that's kind of how everything looks. I hope you guys learned a lot from it. This was kind of a more in-depth case study, more going through how everything is being done instead of just showing you guys results and letting it speak for itself, but really dive into how you can turn an unprofitable store into a profitable store. And if you want to learn how to do this step by step, we've made a 1-hour video explaining our whole Google Ads blueprint. It's on the homepage of our YouTube channel, the first video there. and really go in depth from A to Z how to set up your first Google store and how you can get started scaling. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.